I hate this movie.
Hold on. Okay, few things, quotes I learned from college. Any idea is a good idea.
Yeah.
Life's a learning curve.
Yeah.
And always keep your one on ready. Shoot. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hat and Shades, where we call reviewing things you may have seen. Now, either seen the film, eh? Did you see the film, right? Let's begin.
Okay, 127 hours.
The story.
The true life story of the mountain climber Aaron Ralston.
Yes. You got stuck on the border.
Based on the real book Between a Rock and a Hard Place.
Yes, the real title of the book, yes.
Yes.
And what do you think of the film?
This is the most boring movie I have ever seen in my
Okay,
life.
well, here's what happened basically. The guy who's stuck in a border, played by James Franco, seemed to be in a situation where he got stuck at the border. That's it, really.
Well, there's a few more details. He forgets to bring his mobile phone, he forgets to bring a pickaxe.
He forgets to bring
pretty much anything that would have gotten him out there sooner.
Well, granted, it does seem to portray that he's forgetful, but then... Anyway, the thing is, a situation that he was stuck on the border and all we're doing is focusing on being the border. Now, okay, can this film be made like this? Yes.
But
it requires a lot of detail, but it could be ideal if it was just a... you could make this into a philosophy thing, questioning around things, like get to know it from a camera. It's a very short mini film that would cost very little of the budget, and it could work about a guy questioning things and so the border.
Questioning his life.
However, the most interesting part the whole...
Let's face it, I went around before I did this review, by the way, asked a bunch of people about this movie what they remember it for.
The fucking arm, isn't it? It's the arm, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing, the film shouldn't be because of the arm thing.
How many films can you recall that are remembered more for their arm? The ending is a part of the promotion. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you do see him get out and all that, but it just seems like the entire movie, him just stuck in a boulder, and then it's like...
I mean, take out, between all the events that lead to him getting trapped and the events of how he got out.
Yeah.
If you'd have just put in between that 5-day skip.
I mean, to be fair, it's like roughly about 10 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then when he got out, only about 15 minutes.
So that's
about 10 or 5 minutes off screen.
So if you put that together, generously that's a 25 to 30 minute movie.
Or 10 minutes, basically.
This movie was 94 minutes.
Oh, it's just him mostly in the boulder. Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
I'm sure he chips away at the boulder, he tries to use a rope to get himself
I mean, it's not
free.
that bad, to be honest. It does show a little bit of flashbacks, which then defeats the purpose of the bad guy.
That's the thing. If you've got to show flashbacks of the man's real life, you don't have enough story for a 94-minute movie.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, the whole thing about the stuff on the border thing could... I mean, I could still... Okay, personally, what do you think in general about it? But,
boring.
Well, what I still think this could have worked. I mean, you could have been questioning about... generally, it's all about ideas and philosophy. In a way, we're talking about your existence. However, I think realistically...
Realistically, this movie will always be known as the movie where a man cuts his arm off. Nothing more.
I personally think it could have done differently, but then that's just me nitpicking it a little bit. Although it is surprisingly very dull and also odd type film, and it doesn't seem to go much anywhere.
No.
So although it's quite of a dull experience.
Yeah.
Characters.
Character.
Character. Yes, I love it.
The only character that really matters.
What do you think of James Franco himself?
James Franco playing the role of Aaron Ralston. Well, you see, I've only done theatre acting, but honestly, can you really imagine being told one day you're going to be stuck in a boulder? That's your character. You can't really make that work.
Well, I guess you could if you were talking in set questions, but again, this is not down to dialogue, that it is just down to action.
And as I said before, he's too happy.
Okay. To be fair, I gotta say, I mean, when you're in a situation like that, you would tend to try to...
You would not be happy.
Well, what else you can do apart from this? Yes, but would you rather have a film constantly him crying in tears?
No, I want him to react like a real person would.
Yes, you're fairly decent. It's not too bad.
He sees visions of Scooby-Doo. It's not realistic.
Well, that's the direction, not to do with the characters losing their sanity. I mean, granted, the Scooby-Doo characters seem to be popping in for the moment, and then
But the character flashes back and forth between... I'm stuck here.
Yeah, but funny enough, the most interesting part where he's talking to a camera about you're stuck in a boulder.
Yes.
Ironically, while we're seeing a film, him stuck in a boulder. It's like...
Yes. Also about him thinking about how I wasn't nice to my real-life girlfriend.
Yeah.
I need to
That's the thing that bothers me about the thing is how the heck you throw it in a breakup scenario in a situation about a guy in a disaster scenario.
Because there wasn't enough story for a full 94-minute movie.
I mean, come on, it's like we're always thinking about, do we really need to throw into our relationship thing?
Yes, because true love conquers all, including when you get the motivation to cut your arm off.
Okay, to be fair, it does get a bit out.
I'm not joking, that's why he cuts his arm off, because he thinks of his future wife and his future son, and then does it.
So, yeah, to be honest, really, yes. So, yeah, this is my tombstone now. And he had to take a photo of it, which I was actually kind of tempted at him doing a selfie afterwards, but then that might be a bit too twisted, but he'll let her for the future children. Yeah. Anyway, nonetheless, it is quite a big experience. I mean, to be fair, he's okay. Jane Franco played a very well.
Yeah,
he's very enjoyable. He's quite likeable and all. It's just that, remember, he has very little to work with. I mean, literally little to work with. He's stuck in a car. So, to be fair, he did okay. It would be more interesting if them just dialoguing the scenario and him just talking.
I want to experiment with something. I'm trapped on a boulder. Give me an Oscar.
Okay. Well, all I know, I wouldn't mind when having more dialogue, ironically, for the talking to camera questioning, but all I know, he has little to work with. And it's okay, just there's not much else to work with.
Yeah.
Leading to my next part. It looks pretty. I mean...
Now, Sam, tell me what you think about Danny Boyle.
Okay, here's the way I can say about him in a nutshell. He's whimsically morbid. He's probably the most morbidly whimsical director I've seen.
Morbidly whimsical?
As in, like, well, let's just say, for example, like, imagine seeing a nice, lovely unicorn in the sunshine while a person wrapped in a bliss nearly got raped and crying in tears of suicidal thoughts on the ground. That's kind of the thought I think of Danny Boyle. It's like you have a mixed...
Well, the thing is, once he was always said that he always makes a different movie.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
No, there is a formula to him.
Okay.
And you found the formula, have you?
I
You
have.
both found the formula.
Okay, so let's take a different film, a Danny Boyle film.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Okay, typical, here it is over here. This is what happens to your main character of every Danny Boyle film. Watch for it and you'll see what I mean. Poke, 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 poke. Cookie.
Yeah. That's essentially in a nutshell, is basically torment the guy. It's the Don Bluth effect. For those who don't know Don Bluth, the director of American Tail and Secret and Nim, he said like you can make any film you want as long as it has a happy ending.
See, the part that...
Danny Boyle is like, well, yeah, he's a good...
He's the live action equivalent of that.
Only...
And what he's missed out is that you have to have something positive throughout.
Well, what I'm saying is, you need to have some sense of... You need something to enjoy the journey, not make the destination boring.
A character or the music in the background being unusually happy in a scene where it doesn't warrant it isn't making it joyful.
I mean, put simply, it feels like the outcome is more important to Dan than it is the journey.
I mean, this movie is probably textbook of that, because think about it. The ending was more what it was about. Getting to the ending, the happy ending of escaping and getting to the
Because there's something going and there's something moving.
But the rest of the movie is just him
stuck in a boulder and slowly losing his self, which is not exactly very...
Which, as I said before, he doesn't do very well because he's still being happy throughout.
The ending is also important, and also as well as the journey, but if you're just focusing on the ending and not make much of the journey...
What does Danny Boyle do for the ending?
Well...
I won't spoil it for you too much, but yeah, he does lose his arm.
Yeah. that he got rescued, and a little montage of him
with his new wife, his son.
well, wife or re-wife, I know that, and
He's still exploring.
and he's still exploring, which is the most interesting part of the film, which is completely
I want
lost.
to hear more about how Aaron Wilson continued exploring it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even miss it. Wait, you still can explore? Can we see more of that instead? Or you just why did this border thing have to be taken the entire movie?
No, we just have to know how he hung there for 5 days.
Yeah, I had a situation like that. By the way, I'm stuck on the border for like a week.
Here's the thing. I'd take a superhero movie. I know it's different, but bear with me. Imagine if in the superhero movie Iron Man.
Yeah, he was stuck in the cave with the shrapnels.
Yeah, imagine the exciting scene where he gets a big armor suit and first escapes. Imagine if that was the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
I mean,
but you want to see more.
Let's see where do you go with this? Where do you go with this Iron Man thing?
Yeah.
Where you extended it. Like, for example, like you do see him later on in the end of the film, he's rock climbing with his extension, and we don't see any of that.
Yeah, we don't get to see him explore again, courage to explore again. We don't get to see him reconciling with his wife.
You don't even see him.
By the way, that's what I thought. Is the wife he remarries at the end the same woman he broke up with?
I don't know. It could be anywhere. I don't remember her being British.
That's if it is a different wife, it could be very awkward that the old girlfriend he broke up with had such an impact on him when he was stuck on a rock.
I don't know.
It's very awkward.
I don't know. It could just simply down to the direction or camera. I'm sure it is the process, but the point is that the experience of the direction is. He has this weird. Also, the thing about Danny Boyle is his camera angle style. Like he has to be very quickly unseen. It's like it can't be just something sweet. He has to be very clever. Like details of him drinking water, like him drinking urine pipes and all that. It does this details that just seems a bit obsessive. Like, okay, Dan, I understand you can do this, but
you see,
it's okay. It's fun.
We need to appreciate the water drinking scene.
I mean, it's like it's a weird thing. Even in the Olympics thing, it has this sort of quick thing, transition, quick transition. It's like. It's just like the director's all over the place. It feels like a person with ADHD or something, which is not like bad as say Stephen Mobat's writing, but it's still pretty much a scene when he has this weird thing.
It's very erratic.
Yeah, and yet at the same time it feels nothing.
By the way, if you're a Danny Boyle fan thinking we just don't get his art,
Scooby-Doo for crying out loud!
Where does that Scooby-Doo come
from? What the freaking cool Scooby-Doo? Like what?
Did Aaron Wilson go to Danny Boyle before?
I
saw images of Scooby-Doo when I was at the end.
Yeah. Although no, Danny has a very unusual method that it does seem questionable a lot of times, as well as just seems to be a bit pretentious as beyond belief. But then again, this is Danny Boyle. This is a guy who thought inspirational movie,
making the most inspirational movies of the year.
You probably tell that I don't really find it kind of like.
No, I thought you liked them.
So in other words, it looks nice in the visuals, but when it comes to the direction, oh gosh, it's mad.
Okay, so final thoughts overall. What do you think?
To be fair, the final thoughts I can think about this film is it's okay. It's just okay. There's nothing terrible about the film. There's something really awful about it. But the thing I get the impression about the film is it has. It's just a very not enjoyable film. It's not bad. It's one of those films that would win Oscars or AFTRs and all. But the thing I find about those type of films is they just seem to be averagely dull and okay. There's nothing bad about them. There's just nothing really rememberable about them.
Yeah.
Either. I mean,
again, asking around, the only thing people could tell me is that's the movie where a man cuts his arm off.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing and I don't think you should really focus on the ideally make the arm thing the least important in the entire movie. You make the jerk
because make the person interesting.
Yeah, make him question things or talk about things or anything like his personality and all that. I mean, yes, he might lose a bit of madness, but the thing is, he's talking to himself to a camera, and that'd be a good way to learn about it. I know there's a saying, show, don't tell, and we are saying tell, then show. But when you're a guy who's stuck on a boulder talking to a camera, it's ideal to make him know about him, if that's all we get to see. Because in a way, you can do this. Minimalism films can work. It can be engaging. It's funny enough, it's not the arm thing which I'm focusing on.
Okay. Going into this movie, I was a bit biased because... Should I tell him? I'm not into this guy's story. Oh, am I a terrible person? I'm I'm sorry. Yeah, a man lost his arm. I get it.
Well, we're talking about the film itself.
No, I'm going to go deeper here. A man lost his arm. I get it. It's big. I can't imagine having to go through that pain, but here's the thing. When you make a movie It's got to be interesting.
I mean,
And here's the
not
thing.
like it's something like, say,
Okay.
Peter Ferguson.
Peter who?
Peter Ferguson.
I don't think we're going to name. You know what? Let's do something different for Hat and Shades. Let's give the audience an education.
Why don't we make a film of this guy?
Peter Freuchen was an Arctic explorer, doctor, anthropologist, zoologist, journalist, actor, author, and generally just a badass adventurer. Freuchen went on his first of several Arctic expeditions when he was just 20 years old. Peter sailed as far north as he could and then rode a dog sled 2,000 kilometers north across Greenland. Lived with the native Inuit people whom he discovered in Thule, Greenland. During this time he married one of their women, gave her 2 children, killed a wolf with his bare hands when it attacked him, established a trading base in Thule, and led 7 Arctic expeditions. One of Peter's expeditions involved trekking 1,000 kilometers across Greenland with a friend. He got caught in a raging blizzard and took cover underneath his dog sled. The snow trapped him inside the sled and formed a large ice cave around him. He had unwittingly created his own tomb, meaning he had to rip his beard off just to turn his head. He fashioned a shiv out of his own hardened feces and used it to dig his way out of several meters of ice. All of his toes had contracted gangrene. So he crawled 3 hours back to base, prized his frozen socks off, then amputated his gangrenous toes with a pair of pliers and a hammer. In the 1930s he returned to Denmark. His first wife died of the Spanish flu in 1921, but he went on to marry a Danish multi-millionaire's daughter. Freuchen also led expeditions to South Africa and Siberia, just for the hell of it. Freuchen then wrote, directed and starred in several movies, the most well known of which is called Eskimo. It went on to win an Oscar. And during the war he was a major figure in the Danish resistance movement, hiding refugees, and he completely messed up several Nazi operations. He angered the Reich so much that they arrested him and sentenced him to death. He single-handedly escaped and fled to Sweden, where he continued to mess up Hitler's plans until the end of the war. Freuchen spent his remaining years in New York, where he married another woman, who was a major player at Vogue magazine. He became best friends with American superstar Mae West and bench pressed Jean Harlow at a party once. Only the 5th person in history to answer the $64,000 question, winning the TV game show The $64,000 Question.
Now, don't you think that guy deserves his own movie?
Yeah, I mean, come on, this guy's like incredible and interesting and compelling. It's like Peter Ferguson. Should not mess with Peter Ferguson.
Okay, I don't think his name is actually Peter Ferguson, but we can double check.
Well, Peter Ferguson. Well,
Just call him
Peter.
Peter.
He's Peter, right?
Yeah.
Ferguson, no, but no, he's interesting. Again, to be honest, really, I think it's like imagine if Danny Boyle made this guy about him, he'll be just focusing on stuff in an avalanche.
By the way, I want to give a special thanks to the YouTube channel of 42 for this footage coming from.
Yeah, that we sorry that we nicked your material.
We'll put a link through for the actual full video
and
your channel.
Although the film is dull and it's fine if you're one of those artistic this art, but realistically, it's just not that enjoyable journey. And nonetheless, it's just sort of could have done a lot more.
I'm stuck on a boulder. Give me an Oscar.
Yeah, and we may not be a bit crude about this review, but nonetheless, it is quite enjoyable. It is not as that enjoyable to work with. I've ended up basically looking dead the person. I end up becoming the person.
You have become the man.
Yes. Good job, Dan. You make me bored and miserable by watching the movie by his kind. Great job, man. Great. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reply and all that. This is Sam Judge, and this is
Matt Davies.
Anyway, thank you for watching.